So, the story starts and we meet this girl now. She's super, ridiculously innocent. Seriously, if she finds a coin on the street, she hands it over to the cops. The police are always shocked by how pure she is. They ask her age and she says she's 18. So, the cops just think she's a naive idiot. Now knows people think she's a naive idiot, but she never really minds. Her dad always wanted her to be a genuinely good, honest person. One day an unknown package shows up at Nao's house. She opens it and inside is a black letter. The letter invites her to join a tournament called the Liar Game. Then Nao opens the box that came in the parcel and it's packed with money. Her eyes get huge, she counts the cash and it's a full 100 million yen. Just then she hears a voice from the letter. The voice tells Nao she's officially a participant in the game. The 100 million is for her first round. The voice continues and says another person also got 100 million yen. Nao has to try and steal their money. The person with the most cash by the end of the game wins. Whoever loses their money has to pay back all of it, even if they have to take out a massive loan. Nao realizes if she loses the game she might have to pay back 100 million yen. The stress of losing the money starts to get to her. She has no idea what to do with the cash, so she goes to the hospital to get advice from her dad, who's dealing with, serious internal cancer. But Nao doesn't tell her dad anything about the money. He can tell she's stressed, but she just lies and says everything is fine. Next, Nao goes to a lawyer to ask for advice. She asks if she should just give the money to the police. The lawyer tells her not to go to the police. He figures if she gives the money to the police, they won't give it back when it's time to return it to the game management. In that case, she'd have to pay the management from her own pocket, and that could totally be the game's trick. So, Nao asks what she should do, and the lawyer advises her to get help from a conman to deal with these conman people. Nao goes back home and she's super worried about the money. She can't figure out why they picked her. The fear of losing the cash is stressing her out and she spends the whole night watching over the money. The next morning she gets another letter from the game management. The letter has a picture of her opponent, her childhood school teacher, Fujisawa. After finding out her opponent is Fujisawa, Nao feels relieved. She thinks Fujisawa is a good guy who always helped her and her dad. She immediately meets Fujisawa and tells him everything. Fujisawa says he thinks this game is a kind of scam where they want to steal both their money and put them into debt. He says if the game management steals the money from their homes when they're out, we will think our opponent stole it, and that would be a huge win for the game company. He warns Nao the game people might steal the money from her house. Nao gets really scared, so she immediately goes home with Fujisawa to check on the money. The cash is still there. Nao breathes a sigh of relief, but now she has no idea where to keep the money. So, Fujisawa suggests she can keep her money with his money in his safe bank locker. Nao loves the idea, she gives her money to Fujisawa to keep, and he takes it with him to his home. After giving the money away, Nao feels relieved. She sleeps peacefully that night. The next day she gets a letter from the game management. It says she's lost 100 million, and there are only 29 days left for the game to end. Nao immediately calls Fujisawa and tells him about the letter. Fujisawa explains it's just a trick by the game management to create suspicion between them and make them lose. Nao feels less worried after hearing Fujisawa's explanation, and she feels bad for doubting her teacher. Nao goes to Fujisawa's house to apologize. She hears Fujisawa's voice from behind the house, so she goes around. Fujisawa is sitting in his house, telling his friend on the phone how he totally tricked his student and made 100 million. Nao overhears him and it hits her like a truck. She goes back home without saying anything to Fujisawa. She finally realizes Fujisawa tricked her and stole her money. She starts crying hysterically. Nao decides to get her money back. She remembers she needs a conman to beat a conman, so she starts searching the internet for someone like that. She finds a news article about a cunning guy named Akiyama, who single-handedly shut down a huge corrupt business network and is getting out of jail tomorrow. Outside the prison, some reporters are waiting for Akiyama to be released. They see a guy coming out of the prison, but it's not Akiyama, so they keep waiting for him. The police tell the reporters the person released today was the last prisoner, so the reporters realize Akiyama tricked them by changing his appearance, and they chase after him, but the real Akiyama is actually one of the police officers. Nao is rushing towards the prison to meet Akiyama when she runs into him on the street. She begs him for help, saying someone tricked her and took 100 million. But Akiyama refuses to help her. He says if he helps her get her money back, it would also be a kind of theft and he might have to go back to jail. He starts to leave but Nao keeps following him. Akiyama gets annoyed by her following him. He tells Nao to wait for him near a shop, saying he's just going home to put his stuff down and will be right back. Innocent now stands at the shop waiting for him. It gets late, but Akiyama has no intention of coming back. Now keeps waiting for him, waiting until late at night. Some boys start harassing her, so Akiyama has to show up. He stops the boys from harassing her. Then they go to a restaurant to talk. Akiyama realizes now is a naive girl. He tells her to her face that she's an idiot, which is why she got scammed. But now doesn't think being innocent is foolish, so Akiyama asks her for details about the 100 million. Now tells him everything about the game. Akiyama asks her what she wants to do next. Now says she just wants to take her money and get out of this game. So, Akiyama brings her to Fujisawa's house. Following Akiyama's instructions, now begs Fujisawa to give her money back. Fujisawa makes an excuse saying the money is in the bank locker, and he doesn't want to take it out before the game ends. Now then tells him she knows he cheated her. Akiyama threatens to report him to the police if he doesn't give the money back. Fujisawa defends himself, saying he's just playing a game and everything he did was according to the game's rules. He flat out refuses to return the money. Now pleads with him to give the money back, saying her dad has internal cancer, but Fujisawa shows absolutely no mercy. He tells her to leave. Now walks back toward her house with tears in her eyes, so Akiyama reassures her he has a way to get the money back. He tells her the last day of the game is Sunday, so Fujisawa will have to take the money out of the bank 2 days before the game ends, and they will steal the money within those 2 days. Now is happy that Akiyama is ready to help her. She promises him she's ready to do anything to get the money back. Now asks Akiyama about his plan, and Akiyama is like, to get the money back they just need to do 2 things. First, they have to declare war on Fujisawa, telling him they're gonna take the game seriously now and steal his money. Second, they have to keep constant watch on him. Next day now goes to Fujisawa's house. She warns him she's going to play the liar game seriously and steal all of his money along with hers. Now looked super confident, like she totally had a way to get the money back. Fujisawa was actually stunned by her confidence. After that day now started watching Fujisawa all the time like a total thief. But then Akiyama came up and scared him, saying he would steal the 200 million. When Fujisawa tried to be brave and said he'd never be able to do it, Akiyama confidently said he had a solid plan. Hearing that, Fujisawa got seriously freaked out and ran inside his house. That evening, Fujisawa sees they are watching him from a car, so he calls the police. As soon as Now saw the police car coming, she sped away in her car. Now tells Akiyama about what happened, and Akiyama assures her he knew something like this would happen. Then he takes her to an apartment right across from Fujisawa's house. He tells her he rented the apartment for a month. They look out the window and they can see Fujisawa's house clearly. Now starts to believe Akiyama is a good guy because of all this effort, and she asks him why he's helping her so much. Akiyama says he's doing it for the money. He can earn 50 million yen in just 1 month by helping her. A week goes by while they watch Fujisawa from the apartment, but they still don't know anything about the money, so Now starts to wonder if they'll actually be able to get the money back. Akiyama comes for his watch shift and asks Now for details on Fujisawa's behavior. Now says Fujisawa used to go out for walks and shopping, but for the past few days he hasn't left the house at all. Now asks Akiyama what the point of watching Fujisawa like this is, saying she doesn't think they'll get the money back this way. Akiyama explains that by watching him non-stop, they are putting him under psychological stress. Fujisawa is under a lot of pressure right now because they told him they have a perfect plan to steal the whole 200 million yen. Fujisawa doesn't know anything about this plan, and he's going crazy trying to figure out what it could be. Now gets that Akiyama is trying to break him by constantly watching, but she still doesn't get how they'll get the money back, especially since they haven't even figured out which bank he put the money in. So, Akiyama explains he has figured out Fujisawa has kept the money inside his house. He gives an example. If Now had put the money in the bank and her enemies were watching her constantly, what would she do? Now says she would leave the house and go out because that would reduce the psychological pressure on her. Akiyama explains that Fujisawa isn't doing that because he hasn't banked the money. His money is definitely somewhere inside the house, which is why he's not leaving. Now finally gets it, because they are watching, Fujisawa can't leave the house because he hid the money inside. Then Akiyama decides to tell Fujisawa they know he's hidden the money inside the house to increase the psychological pressure even more. But before that, they try to find out which part of the house Fujisawa hid the money in. They notice that Fujisawa spends most of his time sitting in one particular room. With only 10 days left in the game, they see that Fujisawa is in a terrible state due to the mental stress, so Akiyama decides to crank up the pressure. They start letting smoke into Fujisawa's house. making him think there's a fire somewhere inside the house. But he doesn't run out. Instead, he tries to figure out where the fire is. Then he calls his friend for help. Akiyama tells Fujisawa they were the ones who released the smoke. Akiyama finds Fujisawa's behavior pretty weird. He didn't leave the room even after knowing his house was burning. Akiyama tells him they know he's hidden the money somewhere inside that room. Akiyama was hoping this would increase the mental pressure on Fujisawa. But Fujisawa just admits he hid the money inside the room. He shows them his locker and says he hid the money in there, and they can never get it out. He says this with so much confidence that Nao is totally devastated and starts to cry. But Akiyama says he can open that locker super easily. Fujisawa thinks Akiyama is lying, but Akiyama says it with total conviction, which completely crushes Fujisawa's confidence. He gets scared and sits next to the locker. Then they leave. Akiyama says Fujisawa showed them his locker because he wanted to break their spirit, but Akiyama gave him an answer that made him even more terrified. Nao asks if he can really get the money out, and Akiyama assures her he has a way to get the money out of the locker, but he can't tell her yet. Nao has no choice but to trust Akiyama. She sees Fujisawa slowly losing his mind. Fujisawa is super worried, thinking about how Akiyama could open the lock. He thinks maybe Akiyama knows the combination number, but he's sure he won't be able to open the locker without the key. All kinds of crazy ideas keep popping into his head, like maybe he'll drag the locker away with a car or cut it open with a gas cutter to get the money out. He thinks Akiyama might try to break into the house by force to steal the money, so he grabs some knives from the kitchen and sits down to guard the locker. But that doesn't lessen the fear in his mind. He thinks Akiyama might take the locker away with the help of his friends, so he chains the locker to the walls with an iron chain. Akiyama watches all his antics from the window, and his belief is solidified. They will definitely be able to get the money out of the locker. Next day, Fujisawa receives a letter from the game management telling him the game is going to end in 4 days. Nao also gets a similar letter. She anxiously asks Akiyama what they should do. Akiyama advises her to stay calm. He tells her he's going to chant a spell over the locker, and after that, the locker will open itself on the last day of the game. For the next 3 days, Fujisawa stays glued to the locker. Meanwhile, Akiyama and Nao keep watching him constantly from the window, never taking their eyes off him for a second. When there are only 55 minutes left for the game to end, Nao loses all hope. She cries and goes to Fujisawa's house. She starts begging Fujisawa to open the locker. Fujisawa just laughs at her, saying he knew they were just talking nonsense. Nao cries and pleads at his door to return the money, but Fujisawa pushes her away. He closes the door and goes back inside. Fujisawa anxiously starts checking the time on the clock for the game to end. Nao stands outside, begging him to open the door, but he completely ignores her. Then, as soon as the game time runs out, Fujisawa jumps up happily, and Nao cries sadly. Just then, someone rings Fujisawa's doorbell. So, Fujisawa opens the door and there's this guy who says he's from game management and he's here to take the money back. Fujisawa is all smiles and invites the guy inside, then he gets super hyped and opens the safe. The safe is totally full of cash and the guy starts counting it. Then Fujisawa asks the guy if he'll really get his 100 million yen. The guy says that once the money is counted, he'll get his 100 million. Hearing this, Fujisawa starts dancing with joy. He's thinking he'll pay off all his debt with this money and then chill out for the rest of his life with what's left. Suddenly, the doorbell rings again. Fujisawa opens the door and sees 3 guys wearing masks. They say they are from the game management, the game is over, and they want the money back now. Fujisawa thinks they are buddies with the first guy, but they say they don't have a partner, so Fujisawa takes them inside to meet the first guy. But Fujisawa sees the guy has taken all the money from the safe, and that man is actually Akiyama in disguise. Akiyama hands all the money over to Nao, and then he tells Fujisawa that he lost the game right at the end. Fujisawa is completely shocked. He accuses Akiyama of taking the money after the game ended and says the real game management guys were late, which is why his money went to Nao. But the game management people say they arrived right on time, at 6 p.m. as per the time they gave him. Fujisawa shows them the card and says they told him the game ended at 5 p.m. Akiyama just laughs at him. He shows him the real card and says the game was set to end at 6 p.m. He says he swapped the real card in Fujisawa's mailbox, and since Fujisawa was locked up in his room all the time, it wasn't a problem at all. Fujisawa finally gets why they were keeping an eye on him 24/7. It was all Akiyama's trick and he fell for it. Akiyama explains that as soon as he found out the game management was using letters to contact them, he came up with this plan because those letters could be easily swapped. He first scared Fujisawa so much about losing the money that he started locking himself in his room, and then, the moment he got a chance, he swapped the letters to give him the wrong end time for the game. The game management starts counting the money. Once the count is done, they give half the money to Nao, and Nao gives Akiyama his share. Before leaving, Nao sees Fujisawa, who is totally bawling his eyes out because he lost the money. As they are leaving, Nao complains Akiyama didn't tell her about his plan, and Akiyama says it was necessary since Fujisawa only fell for their trick because of Nao's genuine expression of defeat. Nao asks what will happen to Fujisawa now, and Akiyama says things are going to be rough for him. Hearing this, Nao runs back to Fujisawa's house. When she gets there, she gives Fujisawa her share of the money. She pleads with him to stop seeing everyone as a cheater and start trusting people. Fujisawa promises he will. Then Akiyama gives Nao his share of the money to give to Fujisawa. He says they had agreed to split the money equally, so if she has no money left, he won't keep any either. Nao realizes Akiyama never wanted the money, he just wanted to help her. Nao and Akiyama start to leave after giving the money. Nao wants to thank Akiyama for helping her. She remembers she has 50,000 yen at home and runs toward her house to get it. At her door, she finds the same black letter again. The letter has information about the next round of the game. It also says that if Nao doesn't want to participate in the game anymore, she has to return half of the 100 million yen she won. If a player doesn't show up at the game location on time, the prize money won so far will be taken back. Nao gets really scared knowing all this because she has no choice but to play the next round. But Akiyama advises her to ignore the letter, saying they can't do anything to her legally. Nao ignores the letter as per Akiyama's advice, but she's always worried about having to return the money. One day, the same lawyer knocks on her door, saying he just happened to be passing by. Nao invites him in and tells him everything that's happened so far. The lawyer tells her the game management can trap her using legal loopholes, and it wouldn't be right for her to just keep quiet. So, he advises her to meet with the game management and threaten them, saying he'll support her if they ask for the money again. Nao really likes the lawyer's advice and thinks he's a super nice guy. The lawyer leaves after giving the advice without taking any fees. Then Nao gets a call from Akiyama, who asks if everything is okay. Nao excitedly says everything is great, which surprises Akiyama because of her enthusiasm. Nao goes to the address mentioned in the letter to talk to the game management. She reaches a huge mansion where the second round of the game is supposed to be played. Meanwhile, Akiyama comes to Nao's house to meet her. Since the door is locked, he calls her. But just as Nao is about to pick up the phone, the game management guy tells her to come inside the mansion. But Nao tells him not to bother her anymore. She threatens to file a case against them with her lawyer if they don't stop. Instead of getting scared, the guy laughs at her. He removes his mask and shows her the lawyer she's talking about is him. Nao is shocked to see him there. She realizes she's been fooled by people once again and starts crying over her bad luck. The lawyer tries to comfort her, saying this is a chance for her to earn a lot of money, and he takes her inside with him. Nao is given a badge with a pink jewel on it. The lawyer takes her to a large room where many others like her are already present. Then, a game management guy named Luro starts giving them information about the game. Just then, Akiyama also arrives there with the same badge pinned to his chest. He promises Nao that he will do his best to save her from this game. Luro then explains that the next round will be played among 22 people, and all of them will be given 100 million yen to play. This way, the total value of this round will be 2.2 billion yen, which they will all compete to win. The losing players will exit the game one by one, but they will have to return the 100 million yen they received at the start. Player number 14, a girl, says she won't be able to play with so much money, but Luro says there's no need to worry because the pink jewel on their badge is the 100 million yen they have been given. Nao asks what they will do with the losing players, and Luro says they will let them go after taking back the 100 million yen they lent them for the game, and they can do anything to get the money back. Then he tells them the name of the first game of the second round, Minority Rule. And as the name suggests, the minority will win in this game and the majority will lose.